Standing 6'3" and weighing nearly 250 pounds, Derrick Henry is not just a football player, he's a nightmare for defenders. Every time he touches the ball, it's a chance for something extraordinary to happen. Take his legendary 99-yard touchdown run against the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2018. In one play, he stiff-armed multiple defenders, threw them to the ground like rag dolls, and sprinted the length of the field. That run wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement. It said, "This is what I do, and there's nothing you can do to stop me." Derrick Henry didn't just earn the nickname King Henry, he proved it every step of the way. From his high school days, where he broke records that seemed untouchable, to his time in the NFL, where he redefined what it means to be a power running back, Henry has built a legacy few can rival. But what makes him so unique? Is it his size? His speed? His unmatched ability to stiff-arm defenders into oblivion? Or is it the journey that took him from a small town in Florida to becoming one of the most feared players in NFL history? The story of Derrick Henry is one of hard work, determination, and an unrelenting will to be the best. Before he was a household name, before he won a Heisman Trophy, and before he became the centerpiece of the Tennessee Titans offense, he was just a kid with a dream. To truly understand the man they call the King, we have to go back to where it all started, his early life in Yulee, Florida. Derrick Lamar Henry Jr. was born in Yulee, Florida, a small town where football wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. From a young age, it was clear Derrick was different. While other kids were busy figuring out their place on the field, Derrick was already standing out, both literally and figuratively. By the time he was in middle school, he was bigger, stronger, and faster than nearly anyone his age. But life wasn't always easy for Derrick. Raised by his grandmother and a tight-knit family, he learned the values of hard work and perseverance early on. His grandmother, who he affectionately called Medea, played a crucial role in keeping him grounded. She instilled in him the discipline to stay focused, not just on football, but on life as a whole. She always reminded him that talent alone wouldn't be enough. He'd need to outwork everyone around him. As Derrick entered Yulee High School, his size and talent became impossible to ignore. At 6 feet 3 inches and over 200 pounds as a freshman, he was already built like a college athlete. And when he hit the football field, he didn't just play, he dominated. In his very first season, he rushed for 2,465 yards and scored 26 touchdowns. Those weren't just numbers. They were a preview of what was to come. Coaches, players, and even fans from opposing teams knew they were witnessing something special. By his senior year, Derrick wasn't just a local star, he was a national sensation. College scouts were lining up to see the kid from Yulee who could break tackles like they were nothing and run faster than most wide receivers. But while the spotlight grew brighter, Derrick stayed humble. He never forgot where he came from, and he remained determined to carry his hometown's pride on his shoulders. Derrick Henry's early life set the foundation for everything he would become. The lessons from his family, the work ethic he developed, and the love for football he nurtured in Yulee prepared him for the next chapter in his journey, a record-breaking high school career that would rewrite the history books. At Yulee High School, Derrick Henry didn't just make an impact, he made history. From the moment he stepped onto the field, he was unstoppable. His combination of size, strength, and speed made him a nightmare for defenders. Even as a freshman, he set the tone, rushing for over 2,400 yards and 26 touchdowns in just 11 games. For most players, those numbers would be a once-in-a-lifetime season. For Derrick, it was only the beginning. Each year, his dominance grew. Sophomore and junior seasons brought more yards, more touchdowns, and more broken records. But it was his senior year that cemented his place as one of the greatest high school players of all time. In 13 games, Derrick rushed for an almost unbelievable 4,261 yards and 55 touchdowns. To put it into perspective, he averaged over 320 yards and 4 touchdowns per game. Defenders couldn't stop him, they could barely slow him down. During that season, Derrick also broke the national high school career rushing record, a mark that had stood for nearly 60 years. The record-breaking moment came during a playoff game against Perry Taylor County, where he carried the ball an astonishing 58 times for 482 yards and 6 touchdowns. It wasn't just a performance, it was a statement. Derrick Henry wasn't just good, he was rewriting what it meant to be a running back. But even that game wasn't his peak. Earlier in the same season, Derrick rushed for 510 yards in a single game, setting a Florida State record. By the time his high school career was over, he had amassed a mind-boggling 12,124 rushing yards, a record that still stands today. His feats on the field were so legendary that people started calling him a cheat code, as if he didn't belong in the same league as everyone else. Yet, it wasn't just the stats that made Derrick special. It was the way he played. His stiff arms sent defenders flying, his speed left them in the dust, and his work ethic inspired his teammates. Derrick Henry wasn't just a star, he was a leader. And by the time his senior year ended, the whole country knew his name. With his record-breaking career behind him, Derrick had already committed to play college football at the University of Alabama. The expectations were sky high, but if anyone was ready to handle the pressure, it was Derrick Henry. What he did next would take him from a high school legend to a college football superstar. When Derrick Henry arrived at the University of Alabama in 2013, he was stepping into one of the most competitive football programs in the nation. Alabama was a powerhouse, stacked with talent at every position, and the expectations for Derrick were enormous. But as he had done his entire life, Derrick rose to the occasion, proving he belonged among college football's elite. His freshman year wasn't without its challenges. During a spring scrimmage, Derrick suffered a broken leg that could have derailed his career before it even began. However, with surgery and relentless determination, he recovered in time to play that season. Though his opportunities were limited, Derrick made the most of every carry. On just 35 attempts, he racked up 382 yards, averaging an incredible 10.9 yards per run. It was clear that this was no ordinary freshman. This was a player ready to take over. By his sophomore season, Derrick began sharing the workload with star running back TJ Yeldon. Even in a split role, he managed to rush for over 900 yards, showing flashes of the power and speed that had defined his high school career. But it wasn't until Yeldon left for the NFL that Derrick truly became Alabama's centerpiece. In his junior season, Derrick exploded onto the national stage. As Alabama's feature back under offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin, he put together one of the most dominant seasons in college football history. Over 15 games, Derrick carried the ball an astonishing 395 times, amassing 2,219 yards and 28 touchdowns. His performances weren't just impressive, they were legendary. Derrick's ability to take over games was unmatched, whether he was wearing down defenses with his relentless power or breaking away for long touchdown runs. He was unstoppable. His dominance culminated in December 2015, when he was awarded the Heisman Trophy, college football's most prestigious individual honor. Derrick became the first Alabama running back to win the award, edging out other top talents like Christian McCaffrey and Deshaun Watson. It was a moment that solidified his place among the greats. But Derrick wasn't done yet. In the 2016 National Championship game against Clemson, he delivered once again. He carried the ball 36 times for 158 yards and 3 touchdowns, helping Alabama secure a thrilling 45-40 victory. It was a fitting end to a college career defined by grit, determination, and excellence. With nothing left to prove at the collegiate level, Derrick declared for the NFL draft. His size, strength, and historic production made him a unique prospect, but questions lingered about how his skills would translate to the next level. Would his bruising style of play work in the faster, more demanding NFL? Those doubts set the stage for the next chapter of Derrick Henry's journey, a chance to silence the critics and redefine what a running back could be. As Derrick Henry prepared for the 2016 NFL Draft, the buzz around him was undeniable. He had just come off a record-breaking college career and a Heisman Trophy win, but the transition to the NFL isn't always easy, even for the most accomplished players. For all his dominance at Alabama, scouts weren't entirely sold on Derrick's ability to excel at the professional level. The criticisms were plentiful. Some analysts argued that Derrick's bruising running style made him a throwback running back, better suited for an older era of football. Others doubted his versatility, pointing to his limited role in the passing game at Alabama. And then there was the issue of durability. With nearly 400 carries in his junior year alone, many questioned how long his body could withstand the physical toll of an NFL career. But for all the doubts, Derrick's physical attributes were impossible to ignore. At the NFL Scouting Combine, he showed the world why he was no ordinary running back. Standing at 6'3" and weighing 247 pounds, Derrick ran a 4.54-second 40-yard dash, an astonishing feat for someone his size. He also posted a 37-inch vertical jump, showcasing his explosiveness. Derrick wasn't just big, he was athletic in a way that defied expectations. Still, questions about his role in the modern NFL persisted. As the draft approached, many teams viewed Derrick as a second-round pick. In a league increasingly focused on passing, his skill set didn't fit the mold of a typical first-round back. When draft day arrived, Ezekiel Elliott was the first running back off the board, going 4th overall to the Dallas Cowboys. Derrick, meanwhile, waited until the second day of the draft to hear his name called. The Tennessee Titans took a chance on Derrick with the 45th overall pick, trading up to secure him. While some analysts were skeptical of the move, especially since the Titans had recently acquired veteran DeMarco Murray, head coach Mike Mularkey saw something special in Derrick. Mularkey envisioned a ground-and-pound offense built around physicality, and Derrick was the perfect fit. In his rookie season, Derrick found himself in a backup role behind Murray. He contributed 490 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, showing flashes of his potential. But it wasn't just about the stats. Derrick made it clear from the start that he wasn't afraid of hard work. He embraced his role, learned from Murray, and bided his time. The critics who doubted Derrick Henry's place in the NFL would soon regret it. By the end of his rookie year, it was clear that Derrick was more than just a throwback running back. He was a force waiting to be unleashed. And as he entered his second season, the stage was set for Derrick to prove why he belonged among the best. Derrick Henry's NFL journey began quietly. As a rookie in 2016, he played second fiddle to DeMarco Murray, the Titans' established starter. It was a year of learning, adjusting to the speed and complexity of the professional game. But even in limited action, Derrick showed flashes of brilliance. His size, power, and speed were undeniable, and every stiff arm or breakaway run hinted at the greatness waiting to emerge. By 2017, the balance began to shift. Derrick started to challenge Murray for the lead role, and by the end of the season, he had outperformed him in several key areas. When Murray suffered a season-ending injury late in the year, Derrick seized his opportunity. In Week 17, with the playoffs on the line, he carried the Titans to victory, proving he could handle the pressure. And in the wild-card round against the Kansas City Chiefs, Derrick delivered a breakout performance, rushing for 156 yards and a touchdown in a stunning comeback win. It was the game that introduced King Henry to the NFL world. The following season brought even more change. With DeMarco Murray gone, Derrick was officially the Titans' starting running back. Early in 2018, he shared some carries with Dion Lewis, a quicker, smaller back brought in to complement him. But by mid-season, Derrick left no doubt that he was the centerpiece of the Titans' offense. The defining moment came in a Week 14 matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where Derrick delivered one of the most iconic runs in NFL history. He broke tackle after tackle, stiff-armed defenders to the ground, and sprinted 99 yards to the end zone, a play that embodied everything he stood for: power, speed, and pure dominance. From that moment on, Derrick Henry wasn't just a starter, he was a star. In 2019, he had a career-defining season, leading the league with 1,540 rushing yards and 16 touchdowns. He carried the Titans to the playoffs and then to the AFC Championship game with 2 unforgettable performances. First, he torched the New England Patriots for 182 yards, ending Tom Brady's Patriots era. Then, he demolished the Baltimore Ravens with 195 yards, and even threw a passing touchdown for good measure. Although the Titans fell short against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, Derrick's playoff heroics left no doubt. He was the heart and soul of the Titans' offense. But Derrick's peak was still to come. In 2020, he delivered one of the greatest seasons by a running back in NFL history. He became just the 8th player ever to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season, finishing with 2,027 yards and 17 touchdowns. He was named Offensive Player of the Year, cementing his status as the league's most dominant runner. No matter how defenses schemed against him, Derrick found a way to impose his will. Whether it was a stiff arm, a breakaway run, or sheer physicality, he left defenders demoralized. Yet, greatness often comes with challenges. In 2021, Derrick suffered a foot injury that sidelined him for much of the season. Many wondered if the wear and tear had finally caught up to him, but Derrick proved the doubters wrong once again. In 2022, he led the league in carries and recorded another 1,500-yard season, showing that he was still at the top of his game. His resilience in the face of adversity only added to his legend. By the time Derrick joined the Baltimore Ravens in 2024, he had already achieved more than most running backs could dream of. But the story of King Henry was far from over. His move to Baltimore marked the beginning of a new chapter, one where he would continue to prove that, even in a pass-heavy league, a dominant running back could still reign supreme. Derrick Henry's impact on the NFL goes beyond his stats, accolades, or even his iconic plays. He represents something rare in today's game, the preservation of the power running back. In an era where passing dominates and running backs are often seen as replaceable, Derrick has proven that a player with his size, skill, and determination can still define an offense. He hasn't just kept the art of the ground game alive, he's elevated it to new heights. One of the most remarkable aspects of Derrick's career is his consistency. Year after year, he has been the engine of his team's offense, regardless of the circumstances. Whether leading the league in rushing yards, carrying his team through the playoffs, or battling back from injury, Derrick has never wavered in his commitment to excellence. His durability, rare for a player with such a physical running style, has set him apart. While many doubted how long his body could handle the punishment, Derrick has defied expectations, rewriting the narrative for running backs. But it's not just his production that makes Derrick special, it's the way he plays the game. Every stiff arm, every broken tackle, every unstoppable touchdown run has become part of the legend of King Henry. He doesn't just beat defenders, he embarrasses them. His iconic plays have become viral sensations, inspiring awe from fans and fear from opponents. It's no surprise that his name is often mentioned alongside the greatest running backs in history. Derrick Henry's journey is a story of unrelenting determination, unmatched dominance, and a legacy that transcends football. From his early days as a record-breaking high school phenom, to his legendary seasons at Alabama and his reign as one of the NFL's most feared running backs, Derrick has proven time and again why he is called the King. What sets Derrick apart isn't just his physical gifts, his towering frame, his blistering speed, or his devastating stiff arm. It's his resilience. Time after time, he has faced challenges that could have ended his career. Doubts about his fit in the modern NFL, the wear and tear of carrying entire offenses, and even a major injury that sidelined him during a critical season. But Derrick never allowed those moments to define him. Instead, he turned them into fuel, coming back stronger, and proving that greatness is built not just on talent, but on an unyielding will to succeed. As he continues his career with the Baltimore Ravens, Derrick Henry remains a force to be reckoned with. Even at an age when most running backs are slowing down, Derrick's performances defy logic. Every run, every touchdown, and every broken tackle is a reminder that he is not bound by the limitations of his position or his era. The legend of Derrick Henry isn't just about records, awards, or even championships. It's about the heart of a player who gave everything to the game he loved. Whether he's remembered for his 2,000-yard season, his iconic 99-yard run, or the countless defenders he left in his wake, one thing is certain: Derrick Henry has earned his place among the all-time greats.